Hey, 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 welcome back to English Without Borders, the podcast where we talk about real life, real English, and everything in between. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sophia, and we are so happy you're here with us today.
Seriously, thank you so much for pressing play. Whether you're on your commute, making breakfast, going for a walk, whatever you're doing right now, we're really glad you're listening.
Yes, and I love imagining all of you out there listening, like someone in Brazil listening while they make coffee, someone in Vietnam on the bus, someone in Turkey doing homework.
That is honestly one of my favorite things about this podcast. We have listeners from all over the world.
It's so cool.
So, Sophia, how are you doing today? How was your morning?
Oh, my morning? Okay, so you know how I said last week that I was going to wake up early and have this calm, peaceful morning routine?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that did not happen. My alarm went off, I hit snooze 3 times, I spilled coffee on my shirt, and I was 10 minutes late logging in for a call.
Oh no, that's a rough morning.
It was chaotic, but honestly, I laughed about it. What about you? How was your morning?
Mine was actually pretty calm. I made eggs, I sat outside for a bit. It was nice.
I hate you a little right now.
I had my chaotic morning last week, trust me. It all balances out.
Fair enough. Okay, so speaking of chaotic mornings and spilling coffee and being late, I think that is a perfect way to lead into our topic today.
It really is, because today we are talking about stress. Specifically, how to talk about stress in English.
Yes, and this is such a good topic because stress is something every single person experiences. It doesn't matter where you're from, how old you are, what you do for work. Everyone gets stressed sometimes.
Absolutely. And in English, there are so many ways to talk about stress, to describe how you're feeling, to explain what's going on in your life. And if you only know a few words, like I am stressed, you might not be able to really express what you're feeling.
Right, and that can be frustrating because sometimes you want to explain to someone that you're having a hard week or that you feel overwhelmed or that work has been a lot lately, but you don't quite have the words.
Exactly. So today, we're going to give you those words. We're going to talk about stress like real people talk about it. In conversations, at work, with friends, everywhere.
And as always, we're going to keep it super natural and easy. No heavy grammar lessons today. Just real, useful, everyday English.
Love it. But before we jump in, hey, if you're enjoying English every day, please take 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the podcast grow, and it means you never miss a new episode.
And if this episode helps you, leave us a comment. Tell us, where are you listening from today? We love reading your comments, and it honestly makes our day.
It really does. Okay, let's talk about stress.
So first, why is it sometimes hard for English learners to talk about stress?
I think it's because a lot of learners know the word stressed, but that's kind of it. Like, they can say, I am stressed, and that works. That's a perfectly fine sentence. But in real English conversations, people use so many different expressions and phrases to talk about stress.
Right, and those phrases can be confusing if you've never heard them before. Like if someone says, I'm totally swamped right now, you might not immediately know that means they have too much work and they feel stressed.
Or if someone says, I'm at my wit's end, or I'm burning out, or I've been running on empty all week. These are all things real people say, but they're not phrases you usually learn in a textbook.
Exactly. So today we're going to break all of that down in a relaxed, easy way.
Okay, Sophia. Let's start with personal stories, because I think the best way to talk about stress is to actually talk about times we felt stressed.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so I want to share a story. This was maybe 2 years ago. I was working at a company, a regular 9-to-5 job, and we had this huge project deadline coming up.
Oh, I know exactly how that feels already.
The deadline was on Friday. It was Tuesday, and my manager kept adding more things to my to-do list, like every day. New task, new task, new task. And I remember sitting at my desk thinking, I don't even know where to start.
That feeling of just, there's too much and I can't decide where to begin.
Exactly. And I wasn't sleeping well. I was eating lunch at my desk. I was checking my emails at 10 o'clock at night. And I remember my friend called me and said, "Hey, how are you?" And I didn't even know how to answer. I just said, "I'm fine." But I wasn't fine at all.
And that happens a lot, right? We say, I'm fine, because we don't know how else to explain what we're feeling.
Exactly. And that's part of why this topic is so important. Having the words to actually describe what you're going through, it helps. It really does.
It does. Okay, my turn. So my story is a little different. My stress wasn't about work, it was about life transitions. So I moved to a new city a few years ago. I left my hometown, I didn't know anyone, I had a new job, a new apartment, everything was new.
That's a lot of change at once.
It was so much. And the thing about that kind of stress is that it's not because something bad happened. It's more like there are too many new things, and you don't feel settled yet. I remember feeling anxious all the time, but not being able to explain why.
Yeah, that kind of stress is sneaky. Because on the outside, everything looks okay. You have a job, you have an apartment, but inside you're like, why do I feel so uneasy?
Yes, exactly. And I didn't talk about it for a while because I didn't want to sound like I was complaining. I kept thinking, things are good, I should be happy, but I was definitely stressed.
I think a lot of our listeners can relate to that. The kind of stress that's hard to explain.
Totally. Okay, so let's get into the actual language now. Let's start with the basics and then build up to more natural conversational expressions.
Great idea. So the most basic phrase is, of course, I'm stressed. Simple, easy, everyone knows it. But let's look at some ways to make it sound more natural.
Right. So instead of just I'm stressed, you could say I'm really stressed right now, or I've been so stressed lately. Adding words like really, so, and lately makes it sound more natural and more specific.
And lately is a great word. It means recently, in the past few days or weeks. So I've been so stressed lately tells the other person that this isn't just today. It's been an ongoing thing.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some other expressions. A really common one is I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, yes. Overwhelmed is such an important word.
So overwhelmed means you have too much going on and you feel like you can't handle it all. It's like too many things at once and your brain is like, I can't keep up.
Great way to put it. And you can say things like, I feel completely overwhelmed, or work has been overwhelming lately, or I'm a little overwhelmed with everything right now.
That last one is really useful because it's gentle. I'm a little overwhelmed with everything right now. It's honest, but it's not dramatic. You can say that to a friend, to a coworker, even to your manager.
Right. And the response from most people when they hear that is usually empathy. People understand that feeling.
Okay, what about the phrase burned out or burning out? This one comes up a lot.
Yes. So burnout is when you've been working too hard or dealing with too much stress for a long time, and now you feel completely exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. You feel empty, you don't have energy, you might even stop caring about things you used to care about.
That's a good description. Burnout is more serious than just being stressed for 1 week. It's like long-term stress that has worn you down.
Yes. And you can say, I think I'm burning out, or I'm feeling burned out from work, or I really need a break. I'm completely burned out.
I really need a break. Another great phrase. Because when we're stressed, sometimes what we need is just to stop for a moment.
Let's talk about another one. I have a lot on my plate right now.
Oh, this is such a common expression, and it's a great one to know.
So, I have a lot on my plate means you have a lot of responsibilities or tasks right now. Your life is full. There's too much to handle at once. It's a food metaphor. Like, imagine a dinner plate. If there's too much food on the plate, it's hard to eat everything.
I love that image. Like your plate is completely overloaded.
Exactly. And you can say, I can't take on that project right now. I already have a lot on my plate. Or, this week is really tough. I've got a lot on my plate.
And it's a polite way to say you're busy and stressed. It doesn't sound like you're complaining too much. It just explains your situation.
Yes, and people will understand immediately.
Okay, here's another great one. I'm under a lot of pressure.
Oh, yes. Pressure is different from just being busy. Pressure means someone or something is pushing you to perform, to meet expectations, to not make mistakes.
Right. Like if you have a really important exam coming up, you might say, I'm under a lot of pressure this week. Or if your boss is watching every move you make at work, you might say, I feel a lot of pressure at work lately.
And pressure can come from outside, like your boss or your parents or a deadline, or it can come from inside yourself, like when you put pressure on yourself to be perfect.
That's actually really common. A lot of people stress themselves out because they have very high expectations for themselves.
Totally. And in English, you can say, I put too much pressure on myself, or I need to stop putting so much pressure on myself.
That's a healthy thing to recognize.
It really is. Okay, let's talk about stress in some real-life situations, because I think this helps learners imagine when to use these phrases.
Great idea. Let's start with work. So imagine you're talking to a coworker and they ask, Hey, how are you doing? And you're in the middle of a really hard week. What could you say?
Okay, so you could say something like, honestly, I've been a little stressed. We have a big deadline on Friday and I feel like I'm behind. That's honest, it's natural, and it gives them a picture of what's happening.
Or you could say, I've got a lot on my plate this week, but I'm managing. That one is a bit more positive. You're acknowledging the stress, but also saying you're okay.
And that word managing is great. I'm managing means I'm handling it. It's hard, but I'm doing it.
It's not, I'm thriving. It's not, everything is amazing. It's just, I'm getting through it.
Which is real life most of the time.
Okay, what about at school, like for students?
So imagine a classmate asks you, are you ready for the exam next week? And you're really not ready. You could say, not really. I've been so stressed about it. I feel like I have way too much to study.
Way too much. Another natural phrase. Way too much means a very large amount, more than you can handle. I have way too much homework. There's way too much going on right now.
Yes, exactly. Or you could say, I'm a little nervous about the exam, to be honest. Nervous and stressed are connected. When we're stressed about something in the future, we often feel nervous.
That's a good point. Nervousness is often a part of stress.
What about stress with friends or family? That's a whole different kind of stress.
Oh yes, relationship stress is very real. So let's say your friend asks, Hey, you seem a little off lately. Everything okay? And you're dealing with some family stuff. You could say, Yeah, things have been a little tough at home. I've been kind of stressed.
A little tough and kind of stressed. Notice how we use softer words when we don't want to get into too much detail. You're not hiding the truth, but you're also not saying everything. It's natural.
And your friend might then say, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it? And you can either say yes, or you can say, not really. I just needed to get it off my chest.
Oh, get it off my chest. That's a great expression.
Yes. To get something off your chest means to say something that you've been keeping inside. You've been holding on to a feeling, and now you're letting it out. Once you say it, you feel a little better.
Like a weight being lifted. Speaking of which, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders is another great phrase.
Yes, that means something that was stressing you out is now gone. Like you finally submitted that big project, or you got good news, or you solved a problem, and now you feel lighter.
I handed in my assignment and I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. That is such a relatable feeling.
It really is.
Okay, let's also talk about what you can say when someone else is stressed, because part of learning this language is knowing how to respond with empathy.
That's so important. In English, when someone tells you they're stressed, there are some really warm and natural ways to respond.
Like, that sounds really hard. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Or, I totally understand. I've been there.
I've been there is great. It means I have experienced that too. It shows empathy.
You could also say, is there anything I can do to help? Or even more casual, do you need to vent?
Oh, yes. To vent means to express your feelings and frustrations out loud, usually to a friend, like letting out steam. And it actually helps a lot of people.
I just need to vent for a minute. I've said that so many times.
Same. It's such a natural thing to say when you need to talk.
And your friend who offers to listen is being really kind. That's a beautiful thing about language. When you have the right words, you can offer real support to people.
I love that. Okay, let's do a quick vocabulary review section. We've covered a lot today, and I want to make sure everyone walks away with the key words and phrases clearly in their head.
Yes, let's do it. I'll say the word or phrase, and we'll both talk about it a little.
Perfect.
Okay, first one, overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed means you have too much to deal with and you feel like you can't manage it all. Example, she was completely overwhelmed with work last month. Or, I feel overwhelmed when I have too many things to do at once.
Great. Second phrase, burned out.
Burned out means you're exhausted from too much stress over a long period. It's deeper than just being tired. Example, he worked 80 hours a week and eventually burned out. Or, I need a vacation. I'm totally burned out.
Love it. Third phrase, a lot on my plate.
This means you have many responsibilities or tasks right now. Example, sorry I haven't called. I've had a lot on my plate this week. Or, she said she can't help right now because she has a lot on her plate.
Fourth, under pressure.
Under pressure means you feel the weight of expectations from others or from yourself. Example, students often feel under a lot of pressure during exam season. Or, he performs really well under pressure.
That last one is interesting. Performs well under pressure. Some people actually work better when there's a deadline.
That's true. Pressure isn't always bad. It can motivate you sometimes.
Good point. Okay, fifth phrase. Get it off my chest.
To get something off your chest means to express a feeling you've been holding inside. Once you say it, you feel better. Example, I've been wanting to talk to you about this. I just need to get it off my chest. Or, after she got it off her chest, she felt so much better.
Sixth, vent.
To vent means to express your stress, frustration, or negative feelings out loud to someone you trust. It's very casual. Example, mind if I vent for a second? I had the worst day. Or, sometimes I call my sister just to vent.
Sometimes I call my sister just to vent. I feel like everyone has that one person they call to vent to.
Absolutely. For me, it's my mom. She has heard everything.
And last one, a weight off my shoulders.
A weight off my shoulders means something stressful is now gone and you feel relieved. Example, finishing the exam was such a weight off my shoulders. Or, once I had the difficult conversation, it felt like a weight was lifted.
Beautiful. Okay, those are the key phrases from today. And if you want, write them down, say them out loud, try to use one of them today.
Yes. Speaking of which, let's talk about some action steps. Because knowing the words is one thing, but actually using them is how you really learn. Right. So here are some simple things you can do after listening to today's episode.
The first thing is, tonight or tomorrow, try to use one new phrase to describe how you feel, even if it's just to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I've been a little overwhelmed lately, or I have a lot on my plate this week. Just practice saying the words. The second thing, if you have a friend or a language partner, have a short conversation about your week. Try to use at least one of today's phrases. It could be as simple as, hey, how are you?
Oh, I've been pretty stressed, actually. I have a big deadline coming up.
The third thing, think about how you talk about stress in your own language. What words do you use? And then think, what's the English version of that? You might find that some expressions are similar, and that's a really cool thing to discover.
That's a great exercise. Language comparison is actually a really useful learning tool.
And the fourth action step? Just pay attention. In English movies, TV shows, songs, podcasts, notice when people talk about stress. Notice the words they use. You'll start to see them everywhere now that you know what to look for.
That's the power of learning vocabulary in context. Once you know a phrase, you start hearing it all over the place.
Exactly. Your brain is going to start noticing it.
Okay, should we do a quick recap before we wrap up?
Yes, let's bring it all together.
So today we talked about how to express stress in English, in natural, everyday conversations.
We talked about the word overwhelmed, feeling like you have too much to deal with.
We talked about burned out, long-term exhaustion from stress.
A lot on my plate, having many responsibilities.
Under pressure, feeling the weight of expectations.
Get it off your chest, expressing a feeling you've been holding inside.
Vent, letting out your frustrations to someone you trust.
And a weight off my shoulders, the relief when something stressful is finally over.
We also talked about how to respond with empathy when someone else is stressed. Things like, I've been there. That sounds really hard. And, do you want to vent?
And we talked about stress in different situations, at work, at school, with friends, and in personal life.
It was a rich episode. A lot of good stuff today.
I think so too. And I want to say something to our listeners before we go. Stress is a normal part of life. Every person on this planet knows what it feels like. And being able to talk about it in any language is actually a really healthy thing.
So, if you're an English learner and you've been feeling stressed about your progress or about making mistakes or about not being good enough yet, first of all, you are doing great. Learning a language is hard. Give yourself credit.
Yes, and now you have some new tools, new words, new phrases, and those tools can help you connect with other people, express yourself, and feel more confident in English conversations.
We're really proud of you for being here and for putting in the effort.
Okay, here is our comment question for today. We love this part.
Yes, we want to hear from you. So here's the question. What is one thing that stresses you out in your daily life? And can you describe it using one of today's phrases?
For example, you could write, my job makes me feel overwhelmed sometimes. Or, I have a lot on my plate right now. I'm studying and working at the same time.
We genuinely love reading your comments, so please share your answer down below. It's also great English writing practice.
And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to English Every Day yet, please do. We release new episodes every week, and every episode is designed to help you feel more confident and natural in English.
If you liked today's episode, give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people find the podcast.
And share it with a friend who's learning English, because learning together is always more fun.
It really is. Okay, I think that's everything for today.
I think so. Jake, this was such a good episode. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Talking about stress, ironically, was very relaxing.
Right? Like, talking about something difficult actually makes it feel more manageable.
That's kind of the magic of language, isn't it?
It really is.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We know your time is valuable, and we never take that for granted.
Take care of yourselves. Drink some water. Take a deep breath. And remember, learning English is a journey. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going.
And every episode you listen to, every phrase you practice, every sentence you try, it all adds up. You are making progress, even when it doesn't feel like it.
We believe in you. We really do.
All right, until next time, I'm Jake.
And I'm Sophia.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.